had this like commonness with the Lord, you know, where I was like needing an impartation of the fear of the Lord, because I was just like, he's always there, like I'm gonna be all right. And I'm kind of, and it's crazy because when I'm like that with God, I start seeing that I'm like that with my relationships. And like I'm like that with my wife. She's always gonna be there. I'm not gonna like just tell her thank you for cooking breakfast this morning, or I love you, or I miss you so much. Like, you know, a woman needs what, how many
you need 12 non-sexual touches a day.
Yeah.
Yes.
You need 12 non-sexual touches a day, fam. Like I'm not thinking about none of that, bro. At all. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not thinking about none of that. So it's like when I prioritize intimacy, you know, it's better for me to preach about, you know, like instead of talking about my relationship with my wife, it's a lot better to live the intimacy and let our lifestyles preach the message, you know?
That's so good.
Yeah.
So.
Actually, one of the best things I've ever heard, my friend Arrington told me this. He said the best sermon you'll ever preach is the way you live your life.
Yeah.
Right.
And I really
So
do
good.
believe that's the biggest sermon or message we'll ever preach.
Yeah.
And I relate to you so much where you said sometimes I would go to God for material than a message that he's trying to tell me.
Yeah.
It's kind of like where because I don't know, I just kind of feel like I see everything in like analogies. It's like going to, say if you have like a real physical dad and you're going to him asking for money all the time and to go spend it on stuff, and you're not actually having a relationship with us. Like the things that God gives us and the things that we're downloading from heaven is like kingdom riches, and we're giving it to his people. And I
good.
really think sometimes it's like sick and twisted that we'll receive the things of God, but we don't even let it hit the bottom of our hearts. And I was having that same revelation when I went to go preach in Canada, because I was like, God, I'm in hours and hours in your presence looking for a message, but what are you telling me right now?
Right.
What are you telling me right now in this very instance? And not just the message, but like beyond that, like what is it that you want me to seek today? What do you have? Because I have to wake up with the mentality knowing that I'm enlisted into a race, that I'm running against real competitors. I have a real God that loves me. I have a real prize, and I'm running something that's very, very real. And sometimes that gets diluted when I'm just going to God and asking him how to do a certain thing, but not actually moving my feet and stepping into it. But that could be covered by ministry. And I think that kind of leads to my next point, because all of us are in ministry and we do speak to a lot of people, whether if it's on person or online. How do you not make ministry an idol?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think, oh man, I learned this when I was 19 years old. The Lord like took me to this internship, and it was the first time in my life that the Lord was like, I'm going to teach you how to minister to me before you minister to people. So realizing that our first ministry is actually God. And I'm always reminded of the story of Martha and Mary in the Bible. And it's actually interesting because when their brother dies, they both run to Jesus. And Martha says, Jesus, like my brother is died or whatever. And Mary says the same thing to him. They say the same exact line to Jesus. Jesus tells Martha to like go back home. But when Mary comes, he begins to cry. And he weeps. And that's like the verse where it says Jesus wept. And it always like just blows my mind, because it was like, I can be someone that is working so hard and running to Jesus and talking to him, but am I moving God's heart? Because Mary would sit at Jesus's feet and she would make Jesus's heart move, like he would weep. But then Martha would be like frustrated, busy doing all this work and being like, Jesus, do you not see my sister's doing nothing? And so I think sometimes as a minister, and if you're a young person in ministry, it's like, stop doing so much and actually just sit still. Like when I'm having that struggle, I'm like, okay, God, I'm going to get coffee with you. Like really, because I know me, I will strive. I will sit in that room and I'll pray for hours, and I'll open the Bible. And I'm like, you got to talk to me. He's like, will you just be with me? I don't want you to do anything. Just be with me. And so I do think that like, I think it was like a heart perspective shift of like, I got to minister to God before I minister to people.
That's so good.
If I'm not talking to him, then maybe like, I don't need to talk to anybody else.
That's really good.
Like, and that's just facts, because you know what? One day I'm going to stand before a God, and I'm going to be living in eternity before a God, and he's going to say, I never knew you. I want him to know me. You know, I don't want the world to know me. I want God to know me.
Put the fear of the Lord in what, Matthew 7:22?
Yes.
That joint, bro, because I say this, I'm like, bro, I could do so much like she's like, you prophesied in my name, you know, and I'll just put everything that I've done. Like I've worshiped in his name, I've created content in his name. Like, and bro, I can say I'm doing all this for Jesus, but mean nothing if I didn't know him.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was preaching this to like some of the men at our church, and I was like, how many times do we like say like we're doing stuff for God?
Yeah.
Like we can say we're doing stuff for God all day, every day, but it's like when you do it with him, it's different. And it's like that goes back to what we were just talking about, was like 100%. We can kind of like have him like on the back end of what we're doing, but like allowing him to be the forefront of like, God, if, like Moses, like, God, if you're not there, I'm not going. Like I want to do this because you're telling me to do this, not because I just feel this urge and want to be all showboaty about it. You know what I mean?
Come on, bro.
That's so good.
I love it, bro, because you know, it's crazy because